All right. My name's Froggy. Obviously, Joe. I don't give no swearing.
Start again.
No, I got
Attempt
it. It's
number
fine.
three.
It's fine. This is how I start stuff. It's so weird, but it
Okay.
makes us laugh. And you are?
Hub Sloth on YouTube. You can look me up.
Yes, I
OnlyFans is
will. I will.
back to the conversation.
Oh, yo, what a perfect way to bring that in as well. Oh my gosh.
What? I gotta mark it.
You do have a. You do have a market, to say the least. I'll link both in the description. Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Only what? Only
Friends?
friends?
Friends. Only friends. Chat
Only
or
fantasies?
comments. Only fans. Back to our conversation we're gonna have. We're talking about
Yeah,
Final Fantasy 16.
yes, with the best boy, Clive and Joshua.
Clive Rossfield.
Clive Rosefield. It's me, Ben Starr.
Me, Ben Stein. So
God.
for anyone that's not aware, so everyone in the comments, I got Joe here. Sorry, because anytime we reference Ben Starr here, it is in reference to that for
Yes.
future use of this
God.
podcast.
The video that made me cry.
It was amazing.
It was the best. I watch it at least once a day or once every 2 days or twice every
Ben
2 days if I
Starr.
miss. Your friend, I don't know if you want me to say your actual name or not.
Emma.
Your friend, Emma told me that you weren't able to come down to the orchestra show, and, it just means a lot to me that people like you. God, love that man
He's great.
so much. Love
We all
that
kiss Ben
man
here.
so much.
Everyone,
Everyone,
Ben Rossfield.
everyone give Ben a kiss in the morning. You wake up, you give Ben a kiss, you
Good.
walk downstairs, you have breakfast. You
Kiss.
scream, Joshua!
Joshua.
Go Torgal, what a good boy.
In 13 years, I've waited for this chance. I can't wait for that line in the. I want to know the context.
God, it's gonna be so good.
But
Alright, so yeah, we're talking about 16. God, yeah, what do we start off with?
I have it in the Discord messages if we just want to go off the random. I did them by number, so it's at least
That does work.
visuals.
Yeah, the
Do you want to start since you're
visuals.
leady?
Um, yeah, sure, okay. Obviously the first thing, especially if we're gonna go like with visuals in general, and the game starts off with one of the most amazing things visually being the Phoenix versus Ifrit.
Mm.
And oh my god, like I knew the game was gonna look good, but just like I don't even know like what how to like describe it. Like I played it the one time I watched you play, but like I feel like I need to go in again just to
Just the
experience
set
it.
piece of it,
Yeah, just
like the scale of it, because you're going through this huge cave into
that's
this
the
huge
word.
open, like almost fallen city. Just how
Yeah.
huge everything is, loading
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah, like the scale, the grandness of it all, where like they're like, all right, here you go, you're gonna play as Phoenix right now, just out the gate. They were just like, we're starting this thing running.
They start with that, and then they lead right into an actual gameplay.
Oh no, your mic's doing the thing
Fighting.
again.
Oh, hold on, I'll restart the encounter.
Yep. So go from that to the Titan and Shiva, which first off, I wanna, even though this isn't a visual thing, I just want to focus on the fact that it goes from, oh, we need to bring these the the dominance into the war, so we can set our place. They're like, yeah, I'll do that, and big boy walks out and girl follows. I just want to focus on the fact that it's like, you cock, and then they just get hot and steamy.
100%, that's one of the sex scenes.
Oh, absolutely. If it's not, I'm gonna be pissed.
God.
Just you cock. I fell in love with her on that line. I'm like, you didn't do anything else. You're playing Shiva. I call her mommy every time I do her fight in 14. I love her. She's the best. She is the top in that relationship.
God. And there she's not Shiva.
Is she not
She's,
Shiva?
Garuda.
Is she Garuda? She's
No,
Garuda.
Jill Shiva.
Oh, right.
Yeah. But no, I don't know how much of it you touched on, the like open Titan and Shiva, how cool of a set piece it is to start. Obviously eventually we're gonna be doing this like like the
Yeah.
giant fights as the icon. So seeing it in a scale of like normal guys is probably gonna set the pace later when we're
It's still going now
conduit
for you for some
destroying.
reason.
Is it?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. This is like always, and I love that we're doing like a little let's talk
Carry the
kind of thing.
conversation again.
Yeah, so all right, so going in from UCOC to heard myself for a second. Into the Titan versus Shiva, which, like you said, amazing set pieces, because we're gonna be going into the big grand scale of it all, fighting as those, which I cannot wait to see the Bahamut fight like that. I think Bahamut is the one I'm most excited for.
Which one's Bahamut? The dragon?
Yeah, Big Blue.
Yeah.
Because like, okay, so
I'm not the
we're
best with the summons.
So all the ones that if I'm remembering correctly, all the ones that we're getting or we're going to see are Ifrit, Phoenix, Titan, Shiva, Garuda, Ramu, Leviathan, and
No, we
Bahamut.
don't have Leviathan yet. Leviathan's not been shown, but I'm pretty sure it's in there.
He has to be in there. But I'm like,
Yeah, we just don't know
everyone,
if he has.
Everyone, Odin's gonna be in there. That's who I forgot.
Yeah, because he said.
All of those are just so. Like just the scale of it. I think this game will easily change the way like story games are seen. Because like Final Fantasy always has taken on like a different approach at times, because it went from being turn-based to now this open world aspect.
I don't know if you would call it open world, like open zones.
Yeah,
like
open zone.
Not
that makes more
Xenoverse.
sense.
I'm traveling on Nintendo. Xenoblade. It's like open zones. I wouldn't say it's full open world.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not Legend of Zelda, but it's not Xenoblade. Yeah, it's it's like a Xenoblade kind of thing where like they give you segments that you can work on. It's kind of like it's like if Elden Ring kind of limited you to each area just a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm excited because I know you're saying the scale of it, but I think I know what you mean by like it's going to be a continent almost. That we know of this giant war that's going on in the back, as we've seen with the active time lore stuff. I imagine we're going to have some playing a war in some way. Because I doubt Clive's just going to sit out in the middle of trying to kill pretty much their god's power.
Yeah.
As he's rolling up, as there's an apparent civil war going on.
Oh, yeah, because there's like an uprising for like a new power and shit like that. I guess not a more dominant, not to like not no pun intended, but like a more dominant power within the people.
Yeah, because we see, isn't it a Northern Empire? I forget the exact name, but the Northern Empire is the one that attacks. We're going to touch on this in the actual background stuff. But the Northern Empire attacks, I think it's just the Rossfield family. I forget the appropriate name for the empire, but that's what ends the demo off. But they just get wiped out.
It was Rose.
I'm pretty sure it's Rossfield.
It was Rose something,
Rose.
I thought.
Yeah,
I don't know. Again, we literally played it day after, and probably haven't touched it since.
I did the icon challenge after, but
I haven't done the
icon
icon
attention
challenge
to the story
yet.
in that part. It's a cool gameplay thing. I skipped all the cutscenes.
Fair.
It's really weird out of context, I feel like.
Yeah, that's like the reason I don't want to do it. Other than like seeing Sid and just like the little banter and like doing more combat stuff, I might just play through that bit again, just because like the actual demo itself, because it's just so. I love it. I love the way they introduced combat too. I know that's like far off from talking visuals at the moment, but just
that's the next point I was about to lead into. Was the gameplay.
Well, look at this.
I was about to do an insert. I was about to segue just like that because we got onto the other demo. I was like, it's the perfect chance. And the second talking point is gameplay.
There's
what
so
do you
much
think of
to
the
talk
gameplay?
about.
I'll let you go because I'm more familiar with character action games. Because you stick with mostly turn-based-esque stuff or like slower combat. I'm more of a Devil May Cry. I've played these kind of games, the combo mad stuff. So I'll let you go first.
Yeah, no,
More of
I
a knowledgeable
honestly,
take.
it
Never
was
disrespect it.
it was a lot smooth. So when I tried playing DMC5, um,
Mm.
it was so hectic. I could not keep up with anything in that. Like, I think I streamed it actually. The one time I tried playing it, I think the best combo I ever got was like a C. Like I was dog shit at it. They're like, I love DMC games. They look so cool. I will watch you play it anytime. I cannot touch those. I'm so happy the combat is so
Newer
it's
friendly, like newcomer allowing,
yes.
almost.
I know later on they'll have crazy like combos and stuff, but
Oh yeah.
it builds up to it. So like it allows you to like slowly go into the combos because you'll be switching between the icons, you'll be using their powers, you'll be able to do air combos and stuff. Like everything will work so much better when, final fight you have
Everything.
hundreds of different combos minimum.
Yeah. Because even on top, I don't know if you noticed that you didn't play the icon challenge though, so you don't know this. But you know how you can level up and master in
Yeah.
the normal demo? If you master an icon ability, you can place it with another icon as your alto. So like say you have Phoenix equipped, if I fully leveled up like the big fist punch that Titan does, I can put that on Phoenix. So since you
Oh.
only can have 3 equipped, I'm guessing that's how they're going to get around having a limited number equipped, but having maybe up to 8 or 9 possible icons at any time, so you can actually use them. Because I don't think it'll let you in combat. I feel like that'd be a bit much. But
I could
yeah.
see it like that. All right, technical difficulties aside.
Yes. So back to the icons. So you can switch in between, how I imagine they're going to do the later combat when you have more than 3 icons at a time, because switching between more than 3 is going to be way too much for anyone.
Yeah, considering there's like 6, 7 from what we know. Could you imagine if they have a Moogle icon? The fucking
There's
Thorn.
definitely going to be like a Moogle, maybe even Chocobo. No, I don't think they do Chocobo. I was going to say
Okay.
Moogle is more likely.
Here's the thing. In 14, because Yoshi P, right?
Yes, Yoshi P.
There is a mission later on. It's kind of in Stormblood for a little bit, and then in some like post Shadowbringers things, like down like the side of the Bajin incident. You can fight a really big red chocobo that summons the meteor that Sephiroth does, that the LB3 for black mages.
Chocobo.
So I could see him being like, "Hey guys, I know, but like, just think, wouldn't you want to be a chocobo icon?"
If you want to be a Chocobo icon, it's just some random kid.
I would love that. Just like give us something weird that he works off of. Like again, it's not like it's like a do or die thing, but that would just be so funny.
Just the Chocobo thing.
Absolutely.
Chaotic in the best way.
It would be. Come to me, Chocobo.
Come to me, Chocobo.
Quack.
Just the Chocobo summon from Remake. He just runs all over him, leaves.
It's just Ambrosia again. She defends one hit.
And how do you think? I know it's in the Icon Challenge a little bit, but it's like a power up for your limit break. Do you think we're gonna get full on limit break abilities? Like you pop it and it might do damage instead of just a damage boost. It'll be like an attack for damage.
I would absolutely love unique LBs for. I feel like. Okay, bare minimum. You're gonna have powered up moves, like, just like stronger attacks, when you're just Clive himself. But when you're doing an icon battle, I think an LB is gonna be your finisher.
Oh yeah,
so,
I
like,
can see that.
What was that thing that he used against Phoenix?
The Mega Flare like thing?
Yeah.
Where he just spews out his mouth?
Yeah, that giant, the destruction, demolition, whatever, that's gonna be like his LB3. That's gonna be his finishing move. Phoenix is gonna be like the spinning flare, the twin flare blast that he used. Bahamut's gonna have Akmorn, obviously. It's Bahamut.
Odin's
if he
gonna do
doesn't have
lightning.
Akmorn. Yeah, exactly. Odin's gonna have Fellcleave.
Lightning.
No. Ramu is lightning. Odin's just a guy on a horse.
Oh yeah, that's right. Odin doesn't have lightning for some reason. Why do we name him like that? I don't
Don't
know.
know.
Oh,
I just want all of. If I don't see Shiva step on me at least once, I'm gonna throw a fit.
God. Stop. Speaking of Shiva,
Speaking of
back
Shiva,
to gameplay.
back to
You were
gameplay.
saying that as from a newer perspective of not being good slash even like approachable for action games, you'd say it's welcoming. Like, did you use
Oh,
any
absolutely.
accessories? I know I seen a
No,
bit.
I
Did you use
didn't
any?
use a single accessory. I was like, you know, I'm gonna go into the combat. I'm gonna see how it was. If I need accessories, I'll use them. I went through that swimmingly. It felt so natural. The dodging where like you still get like a little boost, but if you get the perfect dodge, you can combo it into like a critical strike.
Yeah, like slows down for it.
It's perfect. I loved that so much. And I thought that was gonna be like a bonus thing. Like that was an accessory based. But no, that's just naturally in the game, which is, I mean, because I feel like that being a natural thing gives it like a take on Clive being such a good soldier.
Like he can just dodge. Like it's not really. It's
Yeah.
semi-related to his ability, but it's not fully because he's a phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
What's the word they use in the story? He's
Dominant.
inherited some abilities. No, because
he's a
Josh was
shield.
the dominant. No, not that. But he has abilities of the phoenix, even though he's not the dominant of it.
I feel like it's like along the lines of like an echo or something. I can't remember. Again,
Yeah.
I really wish I played through it again, but side note that we'll get onto later, I'm literally going to bring down the PS5 to show my mom this demo because she wants to see through it.
Great.
And
But
literally
tying
a game
into,
that brings people into wanting to
together.
see video games. Yeah.
Yoshi P said himself, it's a story about love.
It really
Thank you, Yoshi.
is. And
Good.
everyone loves future Jill.
Everyone's gonna love Joe. I can't wait. I'm excited for how he's gonna get his icon abilities almost. Because
Oh,
he doesn't kill everyone, because he uses Sids and he uses Jills. And he's
I
not
wonder
gonna kill
if...
Jill.
So, okay. This is gonna be such a weird thing to reference it off of, but Infamous Second Son. Delson is a
touching?
sponge. Yeah. What if he can just like absorb it into them, like, and he's just like an icon sponge.
I'm thinking it must, because in the icon challenge, the level isn't crazy, so I'm not imagining they messed with the stats of Clive. But you have Garida, but you're going to fight her. Like, that's the main point of the icon challenge, is you're going to fight her. So she's still alive, but you're using her
Maybe
abilities.
you can't summon them fully.
Yeah, I don't think there's no way you're going to be able to just pull out the
like
summons,
this.
but you have their abilities.
How did Clive get the ability to use Phoenix stuff if Joshua was around, even though he's his shield, right? So it has to be something. Maybe he gets to the Mother Crystal somehow. It could be the crystals themselves because they were talking about those being such an important thing. I can't wait to the Mother Crystal. Side note, oh my god.
Which one? The one in... All the cities look crazy for him.
Everything. But like, so we have like the Mother Crystal, but knowing Yoshi, because of the way that he does 14, he's like, I wanted some elements to like mix in, because he wanted his style to still be in there. I would love to know, without spoiling it, because you still haven't done Endwalker, and maybe some people haven't. There's a main Mother Crystal. So in the very beginning when you're making your character, here, feel, think, you see the giant Mother Crystal.
Yeah, there's a core one. There has to be a center of it all.
Yeah. I wonder if we'll go to that.
This is going to be more of a later discussion. I'm going to segue it back a bit because this is going to go into the story stuff. But it's going to tie into my big theory of, since we've seen nothing of the second half, maybe even 10 seconds of that from what Yoshi said, it's going to tie into the ancient civilization that Yoshi said that went extinct / is hidden.
The one that we're destroying. Really said. That we destroyed,
it's the one that's
Joshua
destroyed.
Was talking about, right?
Yeah, I think it's that. It might be the same one, but it's like an old civilization. You see some crazy stuff. Yeah, like that stuff. Like what you're fighting in at the beginning, that stuff underground. It's definitely going to tie in to that. There's no way there's that much of it around the map, and it's not going to get referenced. Even in the opening, when you're running by the Shiva and Titan fight, you see it in the background, these huge structures just in the rock.
I fully expect us to go in that into that ancient city and I feel like if we go down to the ancient city, that's where Bahamut's going to be. Just as like a completely weird thing, because he's such like an ancient being, even though all of the
I
icons
don't
are.
know. I don't know if they're gonna bring Bahamut in. I feel like if anyone's excluded, it's gonna be Bahamut because there's this big thing with the icon of fire,
Well, they
and then
showed Bahamut in one of the trailers.
oh, did they?
Yeah,
Maybe.
like when they're running through all of them, it's like Ifrit, Garuda, Shiva, Titan, Phoenix, Odin, Leviathan, Bahamut, and it's just it just runs them. And I
Mm.
want to know what Bahamut's going to be because I love that big ugly bastard.
I imagine they're all going to be story relevant. I was going to say maybe they're side content, but with how important dominance and icons are in the story for how powerful a civilization is, or not a civilization, but like a kingdom is, that's like
Hmm.
their checkmate almost
Do
for
we
any
know how
war.
many kingdoms there are in total?
We minimum know six, maybe five. Yeah, we minimum know six because each dominant is a part of a kingdom. So there's at least six, because
All right,
Jill
so
gets abducted and
Shiva,
Joshua and Clive are the same one.
Shiva, Ifrit. Well, wait, no, I'll skip over Ifrit
Ifrit
for a
doesn't
second.
count.
Yeah,
Ifrit's doesn't. He's not a real
Shiva,
one.
Phoenix, Garuda, Titan. What would be would Leviathan for like an ocean like an ocean based?
They might, because we only know of the continent right now, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they go beyond the continent. Games usually do, like even in original. I'm going off 7 because that's the most knowledge I have off the
Yeah,
top of my head. But you go off a main continent, like it's a whole planet. So I imagine we're at least gonna, maybe that's the second half of the game, is we're off the continent.
what if the
I'm not
first half
sure.
is on top and then the second half is we're in the ancient city? I need to know more about the underground stuff.
We're definitely gonna touch on it. I don't know if it'd be a whole second half. I feel like being underground, unless they go really crazy with the fantasy stuff, it would get kind of generic as like a cave area, if that makes sense.
Mm. Well, okay,
I don't know,
so
but it would also have to be huge because that would, you'd have to consider Titan fights, or not Titan fights, Icon fights.
yeah, it's so hard not to call them Titans because like that's perfect for
No,
the
I was
names,
just
but
thinking
there's
of
literally a guy named Titan.
I was thinking of the Titan fight we see in the one trailer of him standing in like a huge cave. Like his scale alone is a massive cave, so it's a chance.
Absolutely, I'm gonna cry playing this game so much.
I already did in my live stream. Go watch the
Wait,
VOD chat.
yeah, go watch the VOD link down below.
But you know what the best part of the Titan fight is? The gameplay. So keep getting off
I thought
track.
you were gonna say the
Back to the
music.
core. No, that's the next.
That's the next
But
one, yeah.
from my side of the gameplay, from a more knowledge side on like Devil May Cry
Hmm.
fan, but seeing you play it, it felt a lot more bare bones. Like I'm not meaning this in like a you weren't
No, no,
playing the
no.
game right way, but you weren't using like after you hit square, if you do it in the middle of a swing, you can hit triangle and do a little burst with your magic to
Yeah,
like
I kept
add damage
forgetting
into your
about that.
combos. Yeah, like stuff like that is just the like tip of the iceberg because if you do enemy steps right, you can just keep getting more damage off pretty much. Like it's not limiting you in the way of you're not doing enough, you die like Devil May Cry, which is more challenging.
Hmm.
It's more forgiving to that, but of course it's going to be easier to fight. At least early game, I don't know, later game they might push you a bit more because later game, but at least early game it wasn't too punishing. Like you needed more resources because obviously the fight's going longer. But
Oh
besides that, it
yeah.
felt like more welcoming to it. Like you weren't getting destroyed because you weren't doing the most perfect damage combo to every enemy.
Hmm. Which is like kind of what I guess I meant with when I said it felt more user friendly.
Hmm. Like more beginner friendly. Like it was more welcoming to you, not really knowing what's going on.
Hmm. Like I don't know. There was just something.
It does feel very like people are gonna say it's just press square simulator, but I already seen past how much you can do. Check out my short if you want to see the crazier shit you can do a
That
few times
short
stuff.
was amazing.
Yeah, like you can combine stuff, and that's just level. What was it? I think like 15 in the
I
icon
think it
challenge
was
you are. So it's still
15,
early.
20.
Yeah, that wasn't even me fully using like the charged abilities or cancels. Like with Garuda, you have this square mash button for her ability. You just mash it, and it does this huge attack, but you can only cancel it with a dodge. So like, not everyone's gonna know that, but it wouldn't be unforgiving in the way of oh you didn't dodge that, you're dead type thing. Like Devil May Cry, you would get hit and it's just half your health gone. Like especially with I know you didn't play it, so you don't know, but Torgal? Toggle?
Torgal?
Torgal. Torgal has a heal.
Torgal? Torgal. Oh, good boy.
He has a heal. He also has like an enemy, I guess an uppercut, because Clive doesn't have one like in a Devil May Cry sense. But Clive has a launcher, so you can whip an enemy in the air with him, and then he does a little bit of damage in the air. So Torgal's obviously going to be by your side most of the game, and him having
Which
a
I
heal
didn't
also
expect
feels
any
limiting.
less from that.
Yeah, especially with, I wasn't as surprised when I realized he had a launcher when Clive didn't have a launcher. I was like, that's a bigger thing in action games, is getting the enemy in the air when they're weaker. So Torgal having it makes sense that you want to limit how much the player has to press, because even with the icon abilities, I don't know if it was just because I was still getting used to them, but it's a lot.
Yeah.
Like, it's a great part of the game, because 7 did it as well with the ATB gauge, but it's a different sense of cooldowns with each attack, so it's almost still turn-based. Like, you still do basic attacks in the meantime, but you have to manage, when did I use this, when's this coming back, did I parry, is it gonna, because with the parry abilities, if you do it correctly, it comes back faster.
Yeah.
So you would also have to manage that on top of it, which is just, the gameplay's a lot.
It's gonna get
a section I can
so
talk about
in-depth.
extended. It is. I can already tell. Like when I was fighting Garida the second time, I forget her dominant's name because I only played it twice. The cutscenes. But when you know what you're doing, you can do so much against them. Like it felt almost like she couldn't touch me. I messed up once or twice with a few hits during the whole fight, but she didn't hit me more than like 4 times.
Damn.
But yeah, it's gonna be interesting when we have a full arsenal, not counting if there's weapon abilities potentially.
Do we get
That's
different
pure
weapons, or
speculation.
do we just keep his one sword?
No, you can change the sword. Like you get the damage is different as far as I can tell. Like in the icon challenge, you had a different sword and stuff you could equip.
Okay.
Maybe later they'll have different stats with it. I can imagine it will, because it's going to be a whole RPG still. So there's going to be some wackier stuff eventually.
If 7 Remake and like just in general, it would be very unlike Final Fantasy to not have different weapons.
Like
but I'm excited to see what styles there are.
Yeah, like that on top of like, I wonder if it'll just be aesthetic almost in the style of weapon, because I doubt it's going to change his animations, because in a character action game, that's a lot to ask.
Yeah.
That's pretty much making a new character. There's a chance they could do it later on. Maybe Clive gets older, we see a version of that. That's a thing in, I know you haven't played it, slight spoiler, but in Nier Replicant, there's a time skip. And you get different animations with the weapons because he's older. I don't know for sure if that's a thing. I don't know if we've seen older Clive fight if he has older animations. Not sure, but depending on how they do weapons, I'm interested.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's another time skip, considering first prologue, then it's like what, a 16-year skip? 13?
I believe it's 13.
13-year skip
for the next one, like where the beginning of the demo takes place in the war.
Yeah,
it's 13. And then however long until he's an adult.
Yeah, I won't be surprised if there's another skip.
Oh yeah, like do you mean like mid-game or like end-game that there'd be another skip?
I could see mid to end, like 4th quarter.
This is a slight 15 spoiler, because this ties
Go for
in.
It. It's been out for years now.
Yes, it's 15's been out forever. But 15, they hit it the entire time. As far as I know with the marketing, I didn't follow it super close. But there's a time skip right at the end to go into the final act. And like all the characters get redesigned.
That's so cool.
There's a really cool story reason for it, of course, because Final Fantasy. But I'm interested if they would. They've done it before where they hit a time skip and redesigned a character, and Clive already has multiple. So I want to be the most shocked if they do it.
I would happily accept that. Happily welcome it if they want to do like a ultra big like time, like nothing drastic 50 years later, not like that kind of BS.
He's an old dude.
It's like, my name is Ben Starr.
Ben Starr here.
Ben Starr here. Your friend Emma told me.
Good.
Gotta love Ben. I'm gonna cry if I ever meet Ben. I remember when I was playing this game. Yeah, Ben Starr here.
This is an in-between before we go into music. The voice acting, not just Ben, because we're gonna
bust it up. We have to.
That scene.
This is gonna be 2.5 for music or for voice acting, because him screaming in that final scene.
Pain. Like
like I got goosebumps every single time. I was tearing up every single time. You were bawling your fucking
I
ass
was
off.
dead. I didn't
I
expect it.
I showed my mom that scene and she was crying.
It's a powerful scene. Like
It's
I don't want to give it all to Ben because the voice acting for Joshua is amazing. I already know.
oh
I was really intrigued by Jill. She was doing really good, especially the little we seen it. I can't say the most on it because she didn't have that many lines. But them making I don't know what the scene's going to be properly called, but the Moonlit Promise, I guess, whenever they're talking under the moon, saying they'll be out there for each other. Like, that's it. I'm really sold on them as a thing.
Oh yeah, they're
alone,
gonna
but she was doing good.
She's gonna be such an amazing character when
She is. I'm excited to hear more of her because she was doing really good with the little she had in the demo.
yeah. And then there's like obviously Joshua's gonna have other scenes still because they've shown us clips of young Joshua with older Clive, which makes no sense still. But like
We'll bring this in the story because that's going to be a whole lot of
but like
speculation.
Joshua's voice acting when he's like, "I'll kill you," like because he's so innocent. You can tell he doesn't want to fight. But he's so angry. He's like, I promised Clive I'd keep Father safe. I'll kill you for that.
Dead.
God,
Yeah, everyone's voice acting was really good.
I think this is the best voice acting in. This might be my favorite voice acting in a game, right? In so long, and that was just 2 hours of a 50-hour game.
It's a really good cast so far. I'm excited. From the little we've heard of Sid, like Sid even less so. I've probably heard like 4 Sid lines. He sounds good as well.
Hell, I'm excited to hear more from the mother.
Yeah, she's definitely going to be Antag through at least like a quarter of the game. She's going to be a big thing.
Like her voice is she's like, Joshua was my whole life. You know, you kill Clive. Like just she was just so cold. Her voice was, I love hating her already, but I gotta give credit to her voice actress because holy shit, she did amazing at like 5 lines of just making me wanna obliterate that girl.
Can we talk about how good Torgal's voice acting was as well?
Oh yeah,
appreciate Torgal.
I'm gonna be honest, I got so sad when I saw Torgal just watching the fight.
No, my favorite part of the whole icon transformation is Joshua's about to go into Phoenix, and you hear Torgal bark and just bolt. He's just like,
he's like,
nope.
oh fuck.
He's the only one. Like multiple characters just stand by as they get burnt. Torgal's the only one that was like, I should run.
Yeah, like even those 2 guys that just like the 2 side characters that we went to go fight the Marble with, Tyler and
I think it was Wade.
And Wade, like
even
it was Wade. Even their voices, like. The slave owner and the slave, every single little voice was so perfect.
It helps a lot. I know they made a conscious choice with it because they talked about it. Having everyone be like an English heavy accent more than American, especially where the game is set, it pulls you in really easily.
Yeah, like that's one thing I loved about 14. Everyone's voice is just so, and then you go off to the Far East, you have like the slight Japanese accents here and there. But like
we're definitely going to get more of that, like not just the English, that's just what we've seen, but they're definitely going to pull more accents.
I can't wait going to like to the middle of the map where we have the Indian accents in 14. Like if Yoshi P is good at one thing other than story writing and existing as a human being, he knows how to cast the right voices and like set up. I mean, technically he's not the one doing it, but like
I'd say even I love Yoshi, and I don't mean to throw it in, but I feel like Square with their Final Fantasy, at least I can't say on every single game, but even with 7, they did really good voice cast picks.
They've
been killing it. Whoever's in charge at Square of the voice casting is doing amazing.
Yeah, like what's his name? Biggs and Wedge, his voice in Remake is perfect. Barrett, he sounds amazing. Literally, like you said, Square Enix, they're just really good at casting voices.
Some people get mad about Sephiroth, but I also love the new Sephiroth. He's not as good as the original because there's some iconic to it, but he does really good, and I'm excited to hear more of him into an actual character.
I can't say anything on original Sephiroth because I only know Sephiroth from Remake at the moment.
You have to watch Advent Children, so I mean, it's not the best reference.
You have to watch Advent Children, but you know, coming from the girl who's watched it like 30 times.
Listen, the ending's really good. You know
Yeah.
what I love about Advent Children though? The music. 7 has amazing music.
Yeah,
So does
speaking of
16.
music.
But what did you think about the music? Because I have something to say, and I want to hear your thoughts first. Because I
Um,
said I had a hot take before, and it comes into this.
the music, it just it hit me perfect, like instantly. Like when we were watching the PlayStation showcase and we heard the doon
Mm.
doon doon doon, like there's the
Oh yeah,
little
the
opening
main
bits.
theme of the series,
Yeah, just literally the
the Final
main
Fantasy
main
main theme.
but like every time it has just like a little different like hint to it of like the
It's a
game that
different
it's
melody,
in.
but the same.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the same thing, but there's just like a slightly different melody. There's like a little more echo, like the pitch is a little different, whatever.
Mm.
It was really good. I'm excited to see how the fighting music evolves, like the in-battle stuff.
I
Um,
wonder. I imagine it's gonna have a main battle theme, but I don't know if they'd have it through the whole game,
I,
like
wa-
like a straight up JRPG, like a Persona.
I, this is one thing I've been wondering, and I didn't bring it up because this is like the perfect time to. Do you
Mm.
think, considering, 14 has different battle music based on the expansion you're in,
hmm
do you think, depending on certain points in the game, the main battle theme will start to change? Like it'll
Yes.
evolve as Clive is growing to accept things a little bit more and his character grows. Like main plot point happens, next time you get in, there's now like this whole new instrument into the battle theme, or it's like a slightly different pitch.
I don't think it's gonna be that subtle of a change. Even from the demo, it seemed there's not a main theme for the battles. Like 7 is my reference point, of course. 7 has "Let the Battle Begin," that doon 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 doon. Like there is nothing like that in 16. Every fight slash area had its own battle theme almost, which was what
Yeah.
I was wondering if they're gonna have, if it was a demo thing, because in original 7 you don't get the battle theme until you get out of Midgar. Of course they changed it in remake, but I wonder if it's the same in 16, where after you get to the hideout with Sid and you get to the first open area, is that where we'll get the main theme for the battles? It may be.
They could give us different themes based on what nation we're fighting or what like kingdom.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be different for each area.
I, I
I would
I'm
like if there's one theme, but I
mhm.
can't see it honestly.
I think the fighting music when we were doing like the icon battle was stellar.
Oh yeah, the
Uh,
not even orchestral, the vocals for it. I forget the
yeah.
proper name for it. It's
So
great.
let me hear this hot take or this.
So you liked all the music?
I'm
Like
gonna
you would you say it's your favorite in the series?
um. There's some songs from 14 and from 7 that still hold a very special place. Cause like
Mm,
even though I know I've been saying this since they announced this series and like did the first trailer. 16 is gonna be my favorite game, hands down
yeah.
by far in existence. It's gonna be my favorite game. But there's still games or there's still music from the other Final Fantasy games and just other games in general that hold a special place. Because like 7, I was going through a lot of shit during that time. 14,
Mm.
going through again a lot of shit in that time. So like when I beat Shadowbringer for the second time and I heard the music start rolling, I fucking started bawling because I was like, oh my
Yeah,
god, I've come
Shadowbringers is a
so
banger.
far. Like
Shadowbringers is a great reference
I
because
want to
it's the same
cry
team.
right now because like I'm
Mm.
just thinking about it. Like that's like
Yes.
the only thing I can't say the music in 16 is my favorite at the moment because we haven't seen all of it, but
Yeah.
it definitely holds a high pedestal compared to most games.
I was gonna say my main thing with it is it may change later on. The only song that I really liked that'll stick a bit so far has been the Icon fight. I'm not saying they're bad. They're really good songs. They're not sounding
Hmm.
bad in any way. I do not like the style of it being all like heavy, almost orchestral the whole way through.
Okay.
I don't know if orchestral is the word. Like more of the 7 simpler, like subtle themes. That's what I'm looking for. All the
Like
themes
instrumental?
feel no, like all the themes feel very pronounced. Like they're
Okay.
heavy, almost. Like not just in like a heavy metal way, but how they're in a scene. It's less subtle and more pronounced in every scene.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel with that yet. I'd have to see some of the heavier moments because the Joshua scene at the end with Clive and him, there is no music, and
No,
there's going
it's
to be heavy
just.
moments where there's music. It's always a Final Fantasy thing.
Hmm.
But depending where that goes, I don't know how I feel about the use of music yet.
No,
Don't
that's a
despise it. It
very
sounds great, but
like it's like me when I played 7 Remake for the first time. I hated Barrett. Like not hated Barrett, but he was not a character that I was fond of for a while. I was like, he just seems like very arrogant, but as time went on, I'm like, oh my god, I love this guy. He might be my favorite of the
cast.
of the cast.
Just,
Like
just wait till you get to what is it? I forget his hometown. When you get to his hometown in Rebirth, you're
God,
gonna
I
like
can't
that.
wait.
Side note.
Yeah, complete side note. We're, as you can tell, we're Final Fantasy
It's
dweebs.
a Final Fantasy podcast here.
Oh, by
okay?
the way, if I'm just gonna say it in here. 7 Rebirth demo comes out, we play it, we do another one of these. The moment, or like a few days after, so you can let it sink in. Once you beat Endwalker, we need to do another one of these. Because I need to know what you think. Oh my, no, just for 14 in general. It makes me want to cry.
Yeah.
Because I need to hear, like, your voice when the one scene plays at the end. Just, it's so good. I want to cry. I wish I could experience 14 again for the first time, but I'm so happy that I experienced it when I did. And same for 16.
I'm excited for 16. Nothing, I don't know. This is I guess it's still tying into music and story. I'm interested they've said the main theme is love and loss, which is a big thing. And the last time that was mentioned is 7, and that's the main theme of it. So I'm interested because he said it's more happy though, and the point of 7 is darker almost, I want to say. I don't want to spoil the original ending fully for you, but it's a lot darker of a set than a happy ending as Yoshi P saying 16 is going to be, so I'm interested in that.
You could just be pulling our leg.
I don't know, I don't know about Endwalker, but every other expansion always had this, even if there was loss, there was this happiness at the end almost.
Without saying it, like without spoiling it, I don't know if I want to. Because like,
is Endwalker more of a darker ending?
No, honestly,
it's happy.
I think Endwalker. So there's this trend that people said, which this isn't a spoiler by any means, because like it's mainly in post MSQ, but throughout Endwalker, you see the Warrior of Light smile a bit more. Like because your character is generally going through now the ending of Endwalker does have a very dark fight to it, I will say. Like, it is, when I was doing that fight, I was silent, I was invested. And we'll get more into that when we do the Endwalker discussion.
Yeah.
But, like, it was sad, but it was a happy sad. Because it was 10 years brought up to that point, and then there was a moment of peace, and shit's hitting the fan again.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm excited to see where the main theme, because the main theme of Final Fantasy games always are like a big overarching part of the story.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see how it does have this happy ending, which does seem to be, what is it? Business Unit 7, I believe, is what Yoshi's team's called.
Yeah.
Which are making this as well. That seems to be their main thing. Like, they don't like ending on sadder notes, so I imagine it won't be the most gut-wrenching ending.
Yeah, no, I think in an interview, Yoshi said he wanted 14's first story to end on a happier note. Hence why they made the Warrior of Light smile more. They gave everyone something happy to work towards. Like, I almost said a spoiler.
Clive is gonna fuck Jill. That's what we're talking about.
Yes, Clive, Torgal, something's going on. Is that his persona?
Clive, Torgal, you mean story discussion?
Story? Whoa, what a transition.
We can start off with the simplest story point we've been on and off talking about. Joshua.
He's coming back. But
do you think he's coming back, or do you think he's gonna be like a Attack on Titan spoiler? Do you think he's gonna be more like
a Grisha kind of thing?
No, like Bertolt and Armin.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
like, I was gonna say alive, like, but he's dead. But he lives on almost through the icon.
Yeah, no, I absolutely think that's what it is, and I think it's going to be played off at some point as people thinking that Clive is going through like a PTSD kind of a thing, where he feels so guilty, he sees his brother and he just breaks. But like it's like that barrier where, because he's so emotionally distraught from it, Joshua can't communicate to him. But like
Mm,
once things start settling out internally for him, he can have that little like moment. Because like they show
yeah.
him like holding on to Joshua, and then he kind of like evaporates
Yeah.
into ashes and shit. I think there will be a moment where he actually is able to communicate with him.
I do wonder what they're gonna do with Joshua, because
I wonder if
it
Joshua
ties
just straight up
into,
comes back though, because a phoenix, his
yeah, the
his
Phoenix.
embers,
Phoenix
his
down.
well, no, because
Cloud
it's
couldn't do
exactly.
it.
But I'm a healer. Let me res.
Mirez. I saw how better fits a
Um,
hero.
um.
Okay.
So when Joshua was fighting, Ifrit, he's like, my embers may trickle, but a
Oh yeah, when he
phoenix
comes
never
back.
dies. I
Mm,
wonder if he just straight up somehow comes back.
I don't know. Okay,
Which
so
that's
like, continue. I'll let you
I would
finish your
say
point.
so. I would say that's so. Like I said, I showed my mom that video, and she started theorizing with me, and she's like, "Well, a phoenix never dies, right? They always, it's like even in even in X-Men, they cocoon up. Now,
Mm,
Josh was a little fucked.
little,
He
little
kind of
man.
got a hand through his chest. It was a
Yeah.
brutal. There was no sound for a reason. They wanted you to hear the tears hit the floor, and they wanted you to hear every bone break and every muscle tear. They wanted you to hear the
Yeah.
blood shatter. So it was a very brutal scene. I'm still depressed thinking about it. Like that is one of the
Joshua.
hardest hitting scenes. Like just everything but that's just chef's kiss, masterpiece. Game of the
Yes.
year, game of the century. Um Not even decade, century, fuck it. Um but I do wonder if Joshua does get reborn.
My main point here, it's gonna tie into this, because this is, I don't even want to call it a theory, because it's pretty much confirmed, that Phoenix and Ifrit, in this game at least, especially with the cover, they're meant to represent yin and yang, especially
Yeah.
with a lot of talk about fate. Of course, they're gonna, not in the 14 sense of light and darkness, but it's obvious with Ifrit being called the dark icon. They're gonna touch on this some of, is Clive's fate to bring the end of the world?
Oh, is he a
Like,
harbinger? He
is,
could be.
like, not in the cliche like 14 Shadowbringer sense type thing, but is he, the whole game, at least from what we know, the second half, this is going to go into where the second half may go, is that he gets that far and he realizes, like, the shadowy figures, maybe the past thing, that's my theory on them. This is a side note, but the shadowy figure is part of that past, what is it, civilization that went extinct for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And maybe part of that, like, he gets so far in the mother crystals and he realizes he had no control over his fate. And it may be tying to that. I don't know where Joshua will fall into that. Because that would mean Clive would take up both symbols of yin and yang.
Mhm.
Because he does have Phoenix in him, but he also has Ifrit. So I don't know if he
It could
dies,
be just a
or
whole
like
internal
what's in for
struggle.
Josh. Yeah, like that's gonna be a big part of it. Because we already, it's not known, but Clive knows he's Ifrit. And he
Yeah.
sees Ifrit kill Phoenix, so he's going to become aware of what he did. He's
Mhm.
not going to say it was him, obviously. He's going to blame whatever's inside of him, but we know
Yeah,
he's aware
I
of
want to
it.
know what that being was that
That Cloaky boy?
solidify the cloak. I want to know
Or
what
the
the
fire
cloaky
one.
both. I feel like the cloaky
Yeah,
boy might have been the fire boy, and like
it's
the
the same.
embers around him like burned away the cloak. But I need to know, like, what did he whisper? I feel like the whisper was the curse, and then maybe the
Yeah.
fire was. So you know how like you said you Attack on Titan, you can see the past user, that kind of
Mm,
thing. What if that's literally what it was? He was seeing the previous person's remnants of what became of them after their final Ifrit summon.
yeah. We see, I don't know if you've noticed it in the trailer or not, but at least in the Garuda fight, we don't, as far as I know, we don't see any other transformations. At
Yeah,
least one.
no.
We know he eventually transforms voluntarily. But in the Garuda fight, right before he transforms, seemingly in the trailers, he sees the figure again, like the shadowy guy.
Yeah, oh
So
god,
it's
that's
it's something with it. That's the biggest. There's, I want to theorize on it, but it's such a vague point. Like, there's nothing we can really go off yet besides the themes.
This is
Like
just
that he may be part of the past.
this is a weird shot in the dark, but the Rossfields are obviously an important family of sorts.
Mm.
They could have ties to the ancient civilization.
It could be more. I don't even know if it would be that, but I think it could be more direct. Of there's only 3 icons slash summons in the series that are all the same element, and it's fire.
Oh, true.
Because Phoenix is technically fire.
Phoenix is
Bahamut, we don't
fire.
know anything about how it ties in. And
Yeah.
Ifrit.
Bahamut's
So
gonna.
Ifrit and Phoenix are obviously tied. Bahamut's
Yeah.
gonna be important.
Bahamut's so here's the fun thing.
Especially with how in the dark they've been about him.
In 14, Bahamut and Phoenix are tied together. So when you're a summoner, you summon Bahamut as your first thing. He attacks Akmorn, Flare, whatever. You summon the 3 main primals, Titan, Garuda, Ifrit. And then you summon Phoenix. So those 2 in that game are tied together. I'm not saying because it's the same director, it's gonna be that, but it's interesting to see the different takes
Parallels.
of obviously Yoshi P's love for Phoenix.
Yeah. It ties. There's also like the possibility of like Ifrit's abilities are more entwined with Clive than we think.
Mm-hmm.
This is gonna come into how much we know of the lore. This is a bigger theory because we don't know the most about how icons work. Because this could get disproven like the next scene potentially.
Yeah.
But Clive might be the only one that ever has the effects of an icon without being its dominant. Like how he has Phoenix. It could be an Ifrit thing.
Yeah.
Like perhaps his fate is to end the cycle of icons. Thing.
Destroy the icon lineage or like the reign of dominance.
Yeah, like the fate stuff. Like the big theory, not theory, the big theme on 16 besides the life and death so far, from what I've noticed, it's fate.
Oh, absolutely.
They've been pushing that a lot. The main trailer for the last one that they're now using all over the marketing is Fate Will Fall. So I feel like
there's so
Ifrit
much that it can do.
will definitely fall into that. What'd you say?
There's so much that they can do. Oh my god.
I know that's what I'm thinking. The yin and yang thing with Phoenix and Ifrit's obviously super important. The logos always tie in super important ways. Beyond just the first 2 hours of the fucking game. It could be like 15 and we don't see the full opening. Or the full logo. Because they did that before. That there may be something they're fighting together because they're entwined from the looks of it. Because I'm looking at it on the main menu. But they may be... It may not be the full logo.
Yeah. Could they just like straight up make a new, like an Ifrit Phoenix combination?
They could, but going off what they've done in the past, the furthest they've gone with it is in 15 they added to it. Like you didn't see the full art until you beat it. I don't know if they'd redo the whole logo. They've not done that yet. I'm not saying it's impossible, because they could. Nothing's stopping them.
Yeah, no, like by the end, like this is like the cover one, and maybe we'll get 16 too. Who knows?
Oh god. There's never done well in history.
Another 13 years. Let's go.
There's so much going on, especially with Jill and them being entwined. Because if his fate is to end the dominance, he's not gonna kill Jill.
No.
Imagine not Sid. Imagine they're gonna get close. Just going off of so far, unless Sid's the dickhead, but that's never really been a thing in Final Fantasy before.
Yeah.
But I don't know what Ifrit's stand in this is. That's the main point of all of this, where Joshua's going to tie in potentially in the future, where the ancient civilization ties in. It's Ifrit. Because they don't even know what it's called. It's just another icon, the dark icon.
I mean, we'll know in 6 days.
Yeah, we'll know in 6 days. But as of now, until we get there, there's not much we can go off of with the Fate Will Fall stuff.
Yeah.
Besides, Clive eventually becomes aware, and he killed Joshua.
God, I can't wait to see that scene.
Uncontrolled. What? Just them talking?
The scene
Or the
of
post?
him the scene of him I don't want to say realizing or piecing together, but like
The realization he's Ifrit?
yeah, the realization that he did that, but he couldn't, obviously, because he was trying to like
He didn't
stay
seem to even be
stopped.
aware it was him from the dialogue.
Yeah, because like I
He
wonder
could be aware.
when he might not be aware at that point, but like
No, he
within the
might because-
13-year time skip.
No, I think even then he might be. Because
think
we seen just before with Phoenix,
Yeah.
he was unaware to a degree, but he still might not have had control. Like the exact line Clive says that even gets him close to that
I
situation
was supposed to
is he's
protect
lost
him.
control. No, not
Oh.
that he's losing control,
Hmm.
which alludes to the fact they might lose control of their icons.
Yeah, but then
Like,
Joshua gains control and is able to fight. The thing that makes me believe that, because like I would like to play both sides of this at the moment, where he doesn't know that he's a free, or he does know that he's a free, at like early in.
because he eventually learns. We know.
Obviously.
We know that.
Come to me, a freak.
early.
Oh, I watched a freak kill my brother. Let me put two and two together. Obviously, he'll
I
know.
just turned into the same thing. We also have the part in the trailer that it's set in that same area. It looks like of Ifrit fighting Ifrit, which I imagine is going to be an internal thing.
No, that's an internal
I doubt that's an
that's him
actual
versus
physical.
That's Clive versus the embered figure.
Yeah, almost
But,
like a gameplay version of the internal struggle. So it's not just a visual thing; it's a gameplay thing.
The thing that makes me believe that he knows at the moment, like in that moment of Joshua being killed, that he knows it was him, like that he was in Ifrit's body, was him screaming, "I was supposed to protect him."
I don't even think it would.
Because like I feel like
he
if
knew,
he
because he could also just be looking on. Like no matter what
I don't know,
the
'cause, like, didn't
perspective
they
is, he's
show
watching
it
the person
from-
he's supposed to protect die.
he saw it from Torgal's point of view, and then he saw it from Ifrit's point of view.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if
that's
the Torgal thing was actually Clive. That'd be funny if it was, and Torgal might have a story thing. That'd be interesting.
So I feel like him and Torgal have like this connection. Kind of, this is gonna be such a weird way to put it, but very very small on that line of Legend of Zelda, where Twilight Princess, where Link and
Link is dog.
Yeah, Link is dog, dog is Link, like that kind of thing.
I wish you'd seen Game of Thrones, because they've been influenced by Game of Thrones. And I forget exactly how it works in the show, because I don't think it was fully explained. But you can build a connection with an animal.
It's a familiar.
Game of Thrones, yeah, almost, because Game of Thrones has this point. Spoiler: it ended 6 fucking years ago. I don't care. But Jon Snow
Game
dies.
of Thrones. I don't care.
But he lives on through the dog for a bit. It's more of a book thing, if I remember. So it's like a thing they wouldn't
They
be
could
unaware
easily
of.
do that.
Yeah, because they're influenced by Game of Thrones. So this isn't like a shot in the dark thing. They would be aware of this
Yeah.
as a thing. So Clive and Torgal having a deeper connection, very likely, even if it's magical.
Yeah.
Because obviously Final Fantasy's not scared of fucking magic.
Yeah. Oh, Final Fantasy. Oh my goodness. I shoot
Giant
fire out of my
monsters
hands.
fighting. Yeah,
Well,
they're just
'cause, like,
casually doing it.
When they kept saying like, you know, Torgal's gonna be a great wolf one day. He's gonna be the perfect companion for a soldier. There has to be like, it could just be he's a good boy. Like he's a good boy. He's Torgal. He's a good boy.
He's a good boy.
He's a good boy. We give him a little pet. He's a good boy. But like, I feel like that's just like such a weird like thing to just like, they could just like use that as like a little hint towards like he's good because you can maybe for one mission you play as Torgal for some reason, and it's like a little scouting thing.
Well,
It's
yeah, we're
like not spoiling,
we're not averse
not
to playing as
spoiling
different characters though.
Yeah,
as well.
Not
Just to
not
tag on
spoiling Jujutsu Kaisen, but it's like that one sorcerer who can see through the birds.
Yeah.
It's like like he could just have a connection in some way, like to Torgal. Because I'm so confused as to why they would show Torgal's point of view if that wouldn't be like, because like that's what the icon.
Yeah.
Torgal's Odin.
Torgal's no, Torgal's Leviathan, because he likes the water.
Torgal's Bahamut.
But yeah, It'd come into almost what you said of the scouting with Torgal, where it's already pretty much confirmed because we already did it as Joshua. We're gonna at least have small sections of other characters.
Let me play as Jill.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna have a Jill moment. I feel like that's the most confirmed, more
Yeah.
than Sid almost, because Jill is gonna be super important.
I feel like
We
they
see
could.
a lot of them.
No, I don't know, because Sid's such a staple to the series. They can't just like kill him off, but like I
No,
could
I
see
don't
him
think they
just being
kill
that
him.
background support character for like certain things.
I'd see him
like,
more
I
as
could see
like
them
the
getting
buddy to
injured.
lead Clive in.
Yeah.
No, not even injured. I think he's more so his point from what they've said in the trailers and what I've seen in interviews is he's what frees Clive from the slave stuff. The what are they called? Wyverns or something?
Yeah.
Whatever their slaves are called.
Move,
He frees them from
Wyvern.
that and Wyvern. And he leads them into whatever they get up to fully.
The scions
Because
of
he's
the
obviously gonna
Seventh Dawn.
yeah, they're gonna become a big group of army and fight gods. Lots of gods. But I don't know beyond that, because usually Sid, from everyone I'm aware of, even the ones I haven't played, Sid always is tied with the High Wind,
Yeah.
or whatever the airship is. And we've confirmed there's no airship. So he's gonna be important to going somewhere. So whatever this midpoint of the game is, he's gonna be important.
There's so much like this was an hour alone, and this was a 2-hour demo. This game's gonna be
Yeah.
we're gonna be putting in at least 80 hours to 100% this game. We're gonna need like 7 videos on just the full
Because
game.
I feel like it'll be less with the full game. Of course, we're gonna have thoughts, so it's gonna go longer. But theory-wise, it's gonna be less because we're also working off the realization through talking about it like this with the podcast is how little we've seen of the trailers, like
Yeah.
into the game. Like I think the furthest we've probably seen is Ifrit fighting the huge fucking icon like up its arm.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the furthest we've seen into the game.
God, that's gonna be crazy. It's such a weird. I would say this is a weird way to compare it, but like, in the retrospects of I don't even know if I'm using that word right. It might be. In the comparisons, I'll say, of medias. Look at how Avengers Endgame was promoted. We saw maybe the first 5 minutes of the movie through the trailers, and that's a 2.5 hour long movie. This game we've seen like what? We had the 2-hour prologue demo and the 3-4 trailers, and it could be up to a 40-hour game.
I think they said it's around 20 to 30 hours.
Hey, Google, let me look at this up really quick. Continue with your thoughts though.
No, I'm already looking something up. You continue the conversation.
No.
I need like 5 seconds. But all the trailers combined, from what I've seeing on YouTube, is they're right around one saying 15 minutes from 2 months ago. So I'd say we've probably got like 3 hours altogether, including the demo of trailers and like content of the game, and especially with from what Yoshi said about the story not being on, or us not seeing the story beyond halfway at all, or very little. I forget what the exact quote is. It easy to believe. Like the most we got besides this trailer was the state of play stuff. That was like I want to say like 23 minutes of gameplay. We might have gotten like a little of snidbits. The only thing we got a story was the prologue spoilers, because we found out about what happened to the mom there, or what she did early. Even then, that's super early on, from what it looks like. Which I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to look at it really fast. But I want to see just that if he's adult then. While my mind's on it.
While you're looking at that, so it says there's gonna be, first off, 11 hours of cutscenes.
Oh yeah, I'm not surprised by that.
That's so it will take the average player to complete the main story 35 hours.
Yeah.
And then
no special stuff.
The main story to 100 to completionist the game, it's about 80 hours.
Yeah, it's not. I was gonna say, not that that's short. That's like a lot. I'm trying to find. When was it? Was it Summer Games Fest? I'm trying to remember. Gameplay trailer. I don't know. Fucking gameplay. It's gonna come up with demo. Fucking bitch.
It's a little hard to look up this stuff now, considering.
I know. I'm trying to find they did the big presentation on the live stream the one time. trying to find it because it was before the state of play.
I'll also say, because we'll
Desert.
probably be ending this up really soon.
Yeah.
We're gonna be doing a second one of these. I don't know if we'll like brainstorm on it. We'll either do a big one at the end, like when we've beaten the game, or what I started thinking is we do little casts throughout like main events, because I feel like each
We're gonna get unsynced. That would be the issue with that.
yeah,
I feel like
yeah, it would
the first thing
probably.
we could probably doing it at the end would be easier because there'd
Yeah,
be a
no,
lot
probably.
of
I mean,
trying
we
to
can just do
explain things without spoiling.
multiple. Yeah.
Yeah, worst case scenario.
We could, even at the very end, we could just run like a bunch of different casts based on like up from beginning of game to first icon fight, icon fight to second. Like we'll section it off, which I feel like that would be a lot better.
I have a good talking point to end it on then. If we're both, do you have anything else before we go into my last thing?
No, honestly,
discussion?
that my last thing was just we're doing more of this because it's actually a lot of fun to do.
So with the yin and yang theme and fate falling and the possibility of Clive being a puppet, potentially, I don't know if puppet, him being forced into this fate.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think the second half is going to be?
God,
Because
honestly,
at that point, we already seen
it.
most of the icons. Like, I don't know. I have two. This technically turned into two because this was what I was going to ask originally.
Yeah, I
But
honestly
with what we've
can't
seen,
imagine. Like maybe
like,
there's a greater threat other than the kingdoms going at it, and that's like
this
what,
is also. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
um
There's something you didn't mention yet, and neither of us have mentioned it because I
Oh,
was
no.
trying to let you naturally mention it.
Oh no, what I miss?
Every Final Fantasy has an antagonist.
Oh, true. Yeah, God.
The mother is not it.
The mom's not it. Okay. Actually, no. I was
We've
just about
not
to kind
seen
of
the
lead into
antagonist
that.
of this game.
Screw you. I was actually kind of about to lead into that unintentionally. I think the ancients from underneath have something to do with the antagonist. Obviously, that feels like a very on point thing. But it's Bahamut. Bahamut, because
like his icon, you mean, or like
yeah, the guy who controls
okay.
Bahamut is the antagonist. That's what I was going to. I love that we got into that actually at the same time.
Yeah,
because I was going to say,
points on this.
Because the second half of the game, obviously, I would hope we've been introduced the antagonist a little bit, but Final Fantasy VII Remake, probably it could be the guy who was whispering stuff.
It's the cloak guy.
Yeah,
that's the biggest. If he's been introduced, if he or she, the antagonist, has been introduced, it's them.
Yeah.
Or whatever the flame is.
Yeah, but
maybe they're the same, or maybe they're like yin and yang on each other. Because
maybe the antagonist is just a bigger Ifrit. Like we legitimately do not know, because Ifrit in this is an enigma. We have an antagonist.
We're Ifrit. We just don't know what Ifrit stands for.
Yeah, I would love to say though that Bahamut is the antagonist, or is controlled by the antagonist, because he's such a powerful deity. Like in 14, he's the reason why the universe was reset essentially in that.
Yeah, because he was so dumb.
So like he's so brokey.
The fact, I feel like this also ties into us not knowing the antagonist/antagonist. They're really coy about Leviathan.
Yeah, Leviathan. Ooh.
They're being really coy about him for some reason. Like, it's very weird. It seems like you can pick it up because Joe becomes the icon for Shiva.
So here's the thing.
And she doesn't have it before.
Clive and Joshua's mom is kind of wearing the Leviathan colors, which is the only reason why I'm thinking of that now. She's got like that bluey green purple color scheme going on, which everyone looked. I was gonna say this earlier, but I forgot. Everyone looks the part of their icon.
Yeah, Joshua's Phoenix. Even early on, Joe has the whitish and bluish almost.
Yeah.
Titan's fucking built. Garuda's a slimmer female who looks like she's fast.
Yeah, fucking Clive he's literally a mysterious looking person. He's got like that edginess about him. He's got the black and the red. Everyone is just perfectly designed to their icons. That the mom, Sid. The mom just gives me. I won't be upset if she's not, but she just gives me icon vibes for some reason.
It also ties in. I want to know. I'm imagining with Joe. I don't think this has been confirmed. I might be wrong, because we know Joe doesn't have Shiva. Like we know, at least in the prequel part we played. I wonder if there's a way they can force a dominant upon somebody, like different civilizations.
Oh, they
because each
definitely do, I
kingdom,
think.
not civilization, but each kingdom will have its own traditions. That's one thing I know we're carrying over from 14 because it's already heavily hinted towards in the trailer. We've seen different areas reacting completely different to things. If they have different rites of passage to be the icon, like Joshua's just given through it through family. It's just a thing that happened.
I think it would have to be like a rite of passage, because how would Jill get it then?
Maybe a sacrifice-esque thing. Like we've seen a mother crystal with like a table in front of it, which
True.
is this is complete theory. But we've seen stuff where they logically pray to the crystals, but other civilizations may go further with it.
True.
Also, this is a side note. Their castle, or at least their main home, it didn't have a mother crystal, did it?
No, they actually mentioned that they're one of the only nations that don't have a mother crystal. That's why they had to go out.
Why would they get invaded then? Oh no, because that's something we're figuring out.
They invaded them because they invaded them
Phoenix.
because of Phoenix and the way of the New World, as what the mother said. She's like, so long as I have a place in His Highness's New World.
Yeah, 100%. They were just trying to get more power for this war.
Yeah.
They're gonna try and fight everyone.
They wanted
the
to get
Northern
rid of the
Empire
king,
seems to be the enemy.
because so long as they got rid of Papa Rossfield, that was all they needed. Clive dying would have been ideal for them, but Joshua died and Clive survived, which was the downfall of them in the end.
I do wonder if this is going to be a thing answered in the game 100%. What's up with Phoenix's dominant then? Because I don't imagine Clive gets it.
Yeah.
That might just be a thing that's not really covered and it's just mentioned, but I'm interested to see where that goes.
Yeah.
And then the big last talking point, because Final Fantasy games are not adverse to tragedy. Is Clive surviving?
I could
or do you
see.
think
I could absolutely
part
see
of him
Clive
is him
dying.
having to die?
I could absolutely see him dying.
He's
I'm not even.
Deadpool.
I'm not even gonna like go past it.
Sugar.
I would love if he didn't, but I could absolutely see Clive dying. Maybe him and Jill did it, and she has a kid and everything, and that kid carries on to Phoenix. But
Clive.
no, I think if Clive dies, that destroys Ifrit. There has to be a specific way that he dies.
We don't know anything with Ifrit though. Ifrit's gonna be a definite of everything I have to guess. Ifrit's gonna be a big part of the antagonist in the second half of the game.
I'm very happy that it's Ifrit that he is, because that was my favorite out of the
fits.
three.
Well, it's also like the darkest icon.
Yeah.
Not icon, summon through the series. That's always like its theme. This is the darker thing.
Ifrit's just so cool, and I love that it's Ifrit from 14, not Ifrit from 7, by the way. That's complete side note. That was a visual thing, but he's designed exactly just more in detail, and I'm so happy that Yoshi P kept the orchestra machine, the Mughals, and Ifrit the exact same.
Music.
Everything else is different, but those three are the same.
A bunch of 14 stuff. It's great. I'm excited. I think that's
Same.
the moral of our story here.
Yeah.
I'm excited. The big question of the takeaway from this is the full realization that I didn't realize before talking about this. We don't have an antag.
No.
That's gonna be the second half. Whatever it turns into, it's that, because the first half is gonna be Clive going for the mother crystals for whatever his motive is. Maybe just to say, "Damn the world that killed my brother for these stupid crystals. They're stupid anyway. Screw you guys. I'm gonna go break them." Or whatever his full motive is, it's potentially going to be puppeted by somebody else, by fate, or whatever this yin and yang stuff is with the fate that is being talked about so much. Is what's up with these mother crystals, and is he meant to do it, and is somebody just Sephirothing him? Like, is he just being guided along unknowingly?
6 days.
Yeah, that's my biggest wonder, is if our antagonist is going to be, spoiler for 7, a game from 1997. If it's going to be similar to Cloud through the first half of that game, or maybe 2/3, it might have been further, when we realized that Sephiroth was just baiting him along so he'd get what he wanted, before Cloud became a person fully and realized, oh shit, I have to save the world now because I was just a puppet.
Yep.
Like, if we're going to get something similar.
One can hope, one can dream.
Really quick, small point. You think we're getting a bigger party, or do you think it's just going to be 4? Or maybe 5. I don't know if we're counting Torgal.
I could see select few giving us maybe
see?
select moments maybe being 5. If they count Torgal as a party member, I could see.
I mean,
like
a
little
main. Like, we have Sid, we have Clive, we have Jill, and we have Torgal. Do you think we're getting?
Oh yeah, we're gonna
get
get another. We're gonna get another.
don't know how many we're getting. There's a
I
lot.
could
I'm
I
excited.
could see
We
us
haven't even seen
maybe
the full map yet.
getting
God.
like 6 quote unquote mains around the entire
Yeah.
thing, not including Torgal.
It usually does. I mean, they've only done 4 before because of. I was gonna say 14. Jesus, you have unlimited in 14
Yeah.
and 15. There's only the 4.
True.
So they're not adverse to making it a small number, but I do wonder if we're gonna see more
I mean, you know
stays in the
what? They're
cast.
literally breaking boundaries with this game, so
Yeah, this game is so far gonna probably be for the series what 7 was for it back in the day.
yep.
As much as people hate 7 now, back then and shit, stupid bitches, it's gonna be the same thing. Of
Everyone's
this big
shitting on 8
jump.
now, to be fair. 8 and 9 are
I
people's
know
go-tos for hit.
I don't mind 8. I just don't like the junction. So that's a whole other podcast.
Yeah, no,
But
we'll do another podcast. We'll do like a bunch of these at a point.
Podcast just shitting on it.
The
8.
final
Why didn't like the
discussion.
junction system?
This calls like
But
we'll have to like brainstorm names, and this is like complete side note. We'll have to like brainstorm a name for this and everything.
yeah, make this more of a thing.
Yeah.
But no, this is gonna be a big game for the series.
Yeah.
This is probably there was less hype before than 15. Like 15 was super hyped up. Since the demo, the reception for this has changed almost 180 for a lot of people.
Yep.
Like there's still haters of like it should be turn-based,
No,
but
fuck that.
yeah, like the games have always been kind of pushing it to action since 7. Like
Mhm.
7's technically not turn-based.
Yeah.
Because it's the ATB system. The enemies don't attack in an order. It's slowly been pushing itself towards this. So I wonder if this is the big culmination of where it's been going since 7. Because 10 even touched on it. And then 12 and 14 are MMOs. Of course, the series does whatever it wants. It's going to probably be a big game for where the series goes from here.
Mhm.
I just want to see Joan play fuck.
Perfect that note.
That is all. Yeah.
That is all. Like and sub.
Like and sub. Check me out, HubSloth. That is all.
Yes, links in description. That's basically it.
Yes. I'll link the point.
Goobers.
Cut that.